leaves may be falling, but sales prices are not. Hello, everybody, and welcome to What's My House Worth? My name is Rob Tickton. This is Ryan McDonald. We're with Hawthorne Real Estate. We're a design build firm. We also are realtors, Ryan.
We are, Rob.
Not to be confused with
Realtors.
Realtors, right. We're realtors.
That's right.
Anyway, today's episode, we're going to be talking about September sales data, and a pretty busy month, all things considered, Ryan,
Yeah,
wouldn't you say?
I would.
All right. Then
I don't have to because you did.
Appreciate that.
Yep.
Let's jump right in then. Take a peek at that sales data and see what gets uncovered. 30 homes sold, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, 30 is a pretty good clip for September. Looking back compared to last year, it was only 20 in September. Our list and sales prices are very, very similar to last year, Rob. Just over $1 million on both categories in both years, so really unchanged. Where we do have some changes, though, is the percentages. So we're at 98.6% of list. That's our sale price as a percentage of list. And then the 95.2 of original list. It's the second month in a row where that number's been in the 95 range, Rob. And we're used to seeing that, you know, above 97 at the low end, but closer to 100 is what we've been seeing for the past couple of years.
Right, there are two culprits that come to mind that we'll get to later in the show, maybe driving down those numbers.
Yeah, the other number that jumped off the page for me here, Rob, is 77 days on market. So we've been accustomed to, you know, topping out in the 40s. So 77, that's as high as we've seen in a long time.
All right.
So it does speak to a little bit of a slowdown, but, you know, as we go through the rest of the numbers, I think we'll all, you know, take our fingers off the panic button.
Okay. Speaking of the rest of the numbers, we have some more numbers for you. That's the trailing 6 months, and should surprise nobody that the numbers are starting to go down because it's starting to reflect the summer market as opposed to the spring market. But not too much of a steep drop from 35 to 30. Ryan, last year, August to September, that went from 55 to 20.
Right.
So much more consistent month to month over the last 2 months than it was a year ago. Anything else you want to say about that before we look at the previous Septembers?
Nope.
Okay, then let's do it. September historically, and how does 30 sales stack up? Well, pretty well actually, as we take a look at the last 6 years, and nowhere else are you seeing something that begins with a 3. So that's got to be a good sign, right? That means we're flushing through all this inventory we were talking about in the spring.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, same here.
Well said.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's take a look at these 30 sales then, shall we? We will start with the lowest sales price and work our way up as we tend to do.
Yep, that's how we always do it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, so let's keep it going. So we're going to start with 99 Sachem Road, and that's our not so big seller, as we used to call it,
That's
right? The lowest sales price. This one, so the square footage, 1,560, Ryan, that actually includes the third floor. So a pretty small footprint on this house.
Well, a good thing, because it's a pretty small lot, Rob. The lot is 4,792 square feet. So that's, in all things considered, that's pretty small. And in looking back, if you take a look at that lot size, you look back 5 years, Rob,
Yep.
only 9 houses have sold that are under 5,000 square feet as far as their lot size is concerned.
Wow.
And this one is one of 2 that sold for over 500,000. So, you know, I would say, all things considered, this seller did pretty well here, given you're talking about a smaller house. As you mentioned, it's very, it's vertical, so you have 1,500 square feet over 3 levels.
Yep.
But it's making use of the footprint. And so getting 515, this house was sold in 2006 for $390. So.
And they did quite a bit of work over the course
sure.
of the last 10 years.
It's all right. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Next up is 103 Marked Tree Road. Ryan, a little bit of history, I know, with you in this house.
I sold this house 3 times in one listing, Rob, and so did this agent. So I know I can appreciate what it must have been like.
Well, when you say you sold it 3 times in one listing, just for anybody confused at home, what does that mean exactly?
Well, we had it under agreement or contingent 3 times total. So twice where it went under agreement and didn't go through the finish line, which is what happened again when it just went on the market just recently. And I think the issue here, I mean, it's a single level living. It's a ranch. It's a nice house. It's got a nice yard.
Garage under.
It's on marked tree, which can make it challenging in that regard. It's a busy street to cut through, going to the dump, as we know. But
transfer station.
Sorry. I think what hurts this house and ultimately gives people cause for pause is the basement. So it's literally built on ledge, and a lot of times when they build a house, you excavate and you hammer out the ledge. Not in this case. They just kind of adapted it into the basement and built over it. So A, you don't have a basement, and B, it does pose some concerns that people have with respect to radon, although there is a mitigation system in the house and it's pretty thorough. There's vapor barriers. They're doing everything right. It just gives people that
reason to back out.
That one little thing that you get a home inspector that fills their ear, and that's from my own experience. I saw it happen twice, but so I can appreciate the process here.
Got it. So sells for $641. You had mentioned it sold in 2010. That was for $468.
Yes, and it also sold for $487 a square foot. So
nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Okay, next listing marketed to builders more so than homeowners. It's 59 Robinwood Avenue. Big lot here, Ryan. Big lot, 19,000 square feet.
And it feels bigger because it abuts conservation.
That's true, and it's also narrower and just very deep as well.
Right, true, yeah. So this one, I think we are inkling, although public record doesn't reflect the owner as of yesterday when I was looking at it, it does look like it's a land sale.
All right, good up to the minute research, Ryan. Thank you for that. Head over to the Mitchell neighborhood for a couple of listings. First one is 27 Nevada. This is the corner of Nevada and Virginia. And its assessed value was $611, Ryan. This one sells for $679, $750.
Yeah, I mean, as the listing agent pointed out, it's move-in. Also mentioned being walk to the tee and shops. We talked about in a previous show, Rob. What do we consider a walk to? What's our radius?
I believe it was less than a mile.
Right, and this one is less than a mile, so it fits.
Whew. I was nervous.
Yeah, so I think this one is a great starter home. Like the price and reflects that, and it's probably a pretty good deal.
Okay, staying in Mitchell is 61 Tower Avenue. It's our next listing. Similar, I mean, the sales price, you're talking about, what, $250 more, right? So you got $680,000 to spend. Which one are you spending it on? I think it might be 61 Tower.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's smaller, right? Less square footage.
It's a little bit less, but I looked back a couple years, Rob, 3 years, looked at Colonials selling under 2,000 square feet.
Oh, okay.
And guess what the average sale price is? Last 3 years, Colonials less than 2,000 square feet. Town-wide.
I'm going to say, I would say probably 750,000.
How about 678? And this one sells for 680.
Okay.
So deal of the month for the seller?
Yeah, maybe, or it's just very average.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Or it hit the nail on the button.
Yeah, interesting.
The market worked itself out.
Blowing me away with this research, Ryan.
Yeah.
Great work, and so many more listings to go. 70 Gayland Road. We're going to head over to Newman now. You okay with that? We're leaving Mitchell. We're going to Newman. 70 Gayland sells for $688. You know, I saw on the listing sheet, Needham voted top 25 school districts in Massachusetts. I actually saw it twice in there. They refer to that.
Yeah.
And my first thought was probably an out-of-town listing agent, right? And it was.
Well, yeah, but I also... I thought it was actually a good comment because who are you marketing this house to? You're not marketing this house to someone who currently lives in Needham.
Right, to somebody who's coming out to Needham.
Exactly. So that's a selling feature of you're drawing someone to Needham. That's one of the things that draws them there. This is, in all likelihood, a first-time Needham buyer is buying this house. I mean, it could be someone downsizing, yes, but the chances are the buyer is from outside of town. That's a good piece of information. So I actually liked it.
And you're accomplishing two things. You're selling somebody on the town, and you're selling somebody on the house. Like usually you're just trying to sell somebody on what makes the house great.
Right.
But this is, you're assuming the buyer maybe is looking at a few different towns here.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a good little hook.
All right, nice.
Yeah.
82, maybe we should start thinking about that going forward with some of these lower price listings, right?
That's right.
Okay. 82 Beaufort Avenue is our next listing. This an estate sale, Ryan. Location, and one more location.
Yeah, I would give it the three-bagger there, Rob. I mean,
yeah, I would too.
It's a great neighborhood. It's an awesome starter house opportunity. And while it needs probably some cosmetics and some modernization on the inside, they did, they've done the roof. The boiler was done recently. So, I mean, those are things that are nice to check off that you don't have to worry about as a first-time home buyer, which, again, this buyer likely is. So, nice little cape right near Perry Park. Great neighborhood. I like it.
Okay, 17 Emerson Place is our next listing. Did you happen to catch the disclosure on this one?
Well, which one?
Well, the one where it said, disclosure, seller is unaware of structural issues or problems.
Right.
Like, okay, why are you telling me that?
Exactly. I also like the fact that it was originally listed in Medfield. So the days on market of 54, the days to offer, really it's 53. So the one day in Medfield probably didn't help.
Right.
But yeah,
are they in the top 25 in schools? 'Cause maybe.
I don't know. But yeah, I saw that too, and it was just like, the seller's been there for 50 years, and it was essentially just really trying to hammer down that, like, we've been here a long time. There's nothing wrong with this place. Just buy it and don't ask questions.
I guess, but I mean, if you're putting the words structural issues and problems on your listing sheet, you're just asking for it, aren't you?
I mean, there's going to be a gazillion follow-up questions to that when you're throwing that out there.
Right.
So that would have been a fun inspection to get.
I feel like he's hiding something from me.
Well, because you're telling your inspector, you're like, listen, find me the structural thing.
I dare you.
I mean, it's almost like an IRS audit. Like, you're looking for something.
Yeah. 25 Castano Court is our next listing. This is at the Not many Castano Court listings that we've done in this show.
No, well, there aren't that many houses on Castano Court.
Anyway, this is off of Honeywell. It's near Central.
Oh, right, yeah. Sorry.
Yes, near Central. And we actually have another listing coming up that's basically on the corner of Castano and Honeywell, but I don't want to get ahead of myself.
That is fun.
Big lot, 13,500 square feet, which surprised me.
Did it surprise you that it was that big?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Building anything else? Building something?
I mean, yeah, it was a subdivision that went in the 70s. Again, it's another one of those houses where the roof is new, but the interior is a little dated, so there's some stuff to do in there. But, 2,100 square feet, under 8. All right.
Okay. Listing agent for 160 Tudor Road, making it very clear that she wants a developer to buy this one, or at least she's advertising.
She doesn't want to do any showings.
No. And doesn't want to answer any questions, I guess, about the house. But
Right.
And there is a track record, obviously, of new construction in that neighborhood.
Yep.
And so this one sells for $740. Nathan?
Yeah, I think it's a land sale. It's pretty straightforward, and there you have it.
Okay, let's hop on over then to 64 Cary Road, where every improvement has been thoughtfully executed to make this home shine.
That's
a quote.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a step-ladder street.
Of course.
Yeah. I think the main difference between the step-ladder streets and the ladder streets, other than, the location, is the step-ladder streets, every one of them in its own right is a cut-through. Whereas the ladder streets, there's a couple of them that are cut-throughs, but predominantly they're not. But Cary is definitely a cut-through. So I think that's one thing you need to know if you're on Cary. That's a big one.
Right.
But that's just something that's a little distinction between the ladders and the step ladders.
Yeah, I mean, that's not much of one because you can't really cut through any of the ladder streets.
You can, but you don't.
Okay.
But okay, so that's a story for another time. But
Yes.
the other thing here is they have a solar hot water tank.
And what is that, Ryan?
So basically, you have a solar panel outside, and that.
Just does the hot water.
Yeah.
Okay.
So showering on a cloudy day here is definitely avoidable.
Right. Unless you don't mind your shower being lukewarm. 689 Great Plain Avenue. This listing in between Woodlawn and Greenwood. Mm-hmm. And did you notice fourth bed here on the lower level? Did you notice that in the listing sheet?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Sells for $760, $500. Any thoughts on this one?
So
No garage either.
this one is advertised. First thing, imagine a short walk to Needham Center. Rob, do you know how far this is from Needham Center?
It's definitely less than a mile.
It is. It's 0.6, so it works.
Yep.
The other thing is it's presenting itself as part of the ladder district.
Yes.
Not sure how I feel about that.
Well, no, that's actually the next one.
It's both of them.
Oh, they both did?
They both did.
In the ladder district?
The ladder district.
Okay.
So we can talk about that more when we get to the next one.
Yeah.
This one was an interesting house. It was very rustic. It looks like a normal, colonial, but you walk inside and it's, really, it's like wood paneling and shiplap, and it was kind of cool. Like exposed brick in the kitchen. It was definitely unique. So I liked it for that element.
Okay.
May not be everybody's taste, but it was pretty cool. I liked it.
Okay, so that's 689 Great Plain Avenue. The next listing is 631 Great Plain Avenue. So just down the road.
A little further from town.
Right, this one is on the corner of Ellicott, basically. And I did see in this one they advertised it as being in the ladder district. So the question is, A, is it in the ladder district, right? Which
I don't think so. I think that's kind of like Olin College calling itself part of Olin
Olin Woods.
I mean, the ladder streets are. I didn't know there was a ladder district. First of all,
Well,
the ladder streets are what they are.
That was going to be my number two.
If someone's going to name a district, it's going to be us. And
Right.
I don't appreciate that just people taking the initiative.
Right, either it's on the ladder streets or it's not.
Right.
There's no district here
Right.
to speak of.
Right. It's almost saying it's like in a school district. No, it's across Great Plain from the ladder streets.
Right.
So I think that.
Right. So if there is a ladder district, we both agree it's not in it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Next up, a home that is definitely not in the ladder district or
No.
on a ladder street. It's 21 Lois Lane. Ryan, I think you can give us a little bit of wisdom about this listing. Can you not?
Yeah, I represented the buyers when they bought it, and then again as the sellers when they sold it. So we did spend some time with Lois Lane. It's on the backside of Broadmeadow. Nice little neighborhood. Probably could use a name. But really, the thing about this house is
The Hall of Justice?
what?
Lois Lane?
You can really get a true sense as to Needham's appreciation since 2008 with this particular house.
Right.
Because they bought it in the fall of 2008, sold it in the fall of 2016, and outside of maintenance, they didn't do anything to the house.
Okay.
So there weren't nothing was improved. It's the same house that they bought that they're selling. I mean, they obviously kept it up and did routine maintenance and things of that nature, but it appreciated 14.5% since 2008 with really not putting any money into it. So all in all, probably not a bad little investment.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know the market has definitely gone up.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
Next up is 146 Damon Road. Lots of improvements with this one, Ryan. And
Yeah.
what's that?
Well, did you notice the comment? There's a comment in this listing sheet that said public records do not reflect new edition.
I did see
that. When you hear that, what do you think? What immediately jumps to mind?
A permit wasn't pulled.
Yes, that's a huge red flag.
Right.
So as a listing agent, if you're you're doing your diligence and listing the house and you're seeing a discrepancy in public record and your seller is telling you, hey, we put an addition on that was not reflected here, that's something that you want to think about. Say, all right, let me just dig into that. Like, was a permit pulled? Was it closed?
And we're not insinuating that a permit wasn't
We're
pulled.
not, but what we do,
maybe it was.
what do we know about what happens when a permit is closed?
The assessing department comes to take a look at the house unless you stonewall them.
Exactly. It does trigger, but even if you stonewall them,
Right.
which we don't advocate anybody doing.
Never.
But it's still, the square footage that's on the permit that's pulled still gets factored in to the update to public records. So if the permit's not closed, nobody's signaled to do that, and it goes on in perpetuity with the discrepancy between the actual and the truth. So that, to me, is something you want to look into.
Okay, fine. We'll go to the building department after the show and find out. Get some closure on this. 42 Falcon Street is the next listing. Square footage here includes the basement. Public record has this as about 1,700 square feet. Pretty good there. That's a pretty good number, wouldn't you say? You talk about your colonials, Ryan, that are under 2,000 square feet.
Well, this one's over.
Well, but it's
you're right.
with the basement, right?
Fair point.
So that's a pretty healthy $900,000 right there.
Yeah,
wouldn't you say?
mean, this one was thoroughly renovated, including the basement. And the basement is legit living space. It's a walkout. It's been renovated recently. Good location. This is totally turnkey.
Yeah.
So.
Also, good location is the next listing, 29 Colton Park. And Ryan, as you look at this listing, you see, wow, it was on the market for 1.2, and they only got 927. I still think 927 is a good number for that.
I do too, Rob. It's a candidate, even given
With
the spread,
discount,
it's still a candidate for the deal of the month.
For the seller.
For the seller.
Agreed.
But it's the highest 1.5 bath house to sell in the last year. So it's the house, when we saw it come out, because I remember I had a listing coming out in the same price point, the same weekend that this one came out, and so I was very curious to see it. When I walked in there, I just immediately I felt, oh boy, this one's gonna be in trouble at this price point. It's a really cool house. It just didn't give itself a chance because it went out at 1.2, and but like you said, they still got 927, which is, I think, a pretty healthy number for it.
Okay, and Colton Park, of course, on the south side of Harris.
Great location.
Great location. 105 Alden Road. We got a couple Alden listings in this month's episode. This one is 105 Alden. Ryan sells for just about what it was listed for, $975.
Yeah, I mean,
assessed at $712,900.
Right, but do they know that it's in Olin Woods?
But I mean, I don't know. I would think so.
I would hope so.
Do they even know?
Does the algorithm factor in the impact of Olin Woods?
They must be updating it now.
Yeah.
So it's late breaking.
Yeah, it's in Olin Woods.
Yeah,
nice
there you
house.
go.
Updated, moving condition.
Very nicely updated.
Yeah.
In town, or at least closer to town, this is certainly a walk-to-town location coming up, 41 Truman Street, and I kind of like this deal for the buyer, Ryan. I thought it was, a lot of space. The location, it's one street over from basically Rosemary, but it's a dead end.
Yeah. Isn't it like if you kept plowed through, you'd go to Longfellow?
I think that's correct. Yeah, I think you're right.
And this is equidistant from the Heights and
it's a good spot.
Town. Yeah.
You walk to a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you walk into the high school. I mean, it's a good spot. The one thing about it is it's a good sized lot, except the front yard's way bigger than the backyard. Which I don't know if you care, especially on a dead end. It may not make a big difference. But I don't know. I noticed that, and big deal. It's a nice sized lot, and it's well maintained and a nice house. Okay. So lay off.
There you go. 250 Stratford Road. Next up sells for 1.1. The underground utilities. I like it, but I don't know how much it's a difference maker when it comes to somebody looking at real estate.
Yeah, right? I mean, you say that, but I mean, a lot of the houses we build, people are asking for it. So it's certainly something that people are willing to spend money on, at least in the construction element.
Okay.
But this is as remote. This rivals Woods End is the absolute most remote spot in Needham. It's not the furthest away from town center, but with all the winding to get there.
Yeah.
It's really at the end of the rope.
Yeah.
So good for them.
Very remote-y.
They had a nice aggressive price drop too after 90 days, which I liked.
Back to Castano. Actually, this is a Honeywell listing, but it's on the corner of Castano and Honeywell.
Okay.
A lot of Castano talk. this
I
month.
hope that's how you pronounce it.
Me too. 263 Honeywell Street. If it's not, we'll hear about it. Sells for
I would
116.
instinctively say Castano, but I don't know if that's right either.
I don't know. It's Nevada.
Castano.
I don't know.
Castano.
Fenced in backyard with irrigation.
Somebody will
on this
call
one.
in.
Next up, 76 May Street. This is, we know how to pronounce this one.
Yeah.
76 May is, a developer bought this in October of 2015, so basically a year ago.
It's a flip.
Paid $740 and then did a fairly comprehensive renovation.
Right.
Addition renovation. And
Not to the basement,
Not to the basement. It sells for 1,215. They did rebuild the garage and they did add on.
And they did do the ceilings twice.
They did the ceilings twice. So there you have it. That's 1 year, basically. Bought
Yeah.
in October, sold in September.
Yeah.
11 months.
Yeah.
87 Pheasant Landing Road is.
Here we
How
go.
about that, Ryan? Wow, for the buyer, you don't see too many deals of the month from you for buyers.
No, I mean, it's obvious. It's kind of low-hanging fruit. It went out at 165, which I think we both agreed was too high, given. I mean, the house was built in 1988, so it's a little dated. It's had some things done since, but to me, I look at there's huge upside here, Rob. So I mean, this house is 5,000 square feet. It's a cool house. It's got a nice exterior, nice plot of land. It's in a nice neighborhood. If you're a buyer who's looking in the 1.6s, this is a great opportunity because you can get in here at 1.3. You can put a couple $100,000 into it, do whatever you want, and then you've got yourself a house. It's probably worth 1.7, 1.8. Okay. So I thought this was a good opportunity for a buyer to pick this up at 1.373, and I think they got to be. And you don't have to do anything. You could just say, okay, fine. But to me, the upside was there, and this is a nice little deal for the buyer.
Built in 88. It's not that long ago.
No, it's not. And again, it had been worked on since, but it wasn't a 165 house as is. It just needed to get there.
Okay, got it. Very good.
I liked it.
Okay, 153 Evelyn Road. This listing was touted, Ryan, is better than new. This next one, but it sold for 1.4 on the nose in January 2015, and then it sold for 1.4 on the nose in September.
Right.
So it's probably as good as new, right? It's the same price.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't think either one of us love the better than new as a tagline.
I used to love it less, but I have seen instances of it. I mean, people come in and sometimes they spend some money to really upgrade their home.
Fine, that's different. This is taking a spec house that's a year old and saying that it's better than new. If you go back to my deal of the month, and if you spend some money and really make that place awesome, then you can say, okay, this is better than new because it has some maybe older character and whatever.
Okay.
Or take a house that was built in 1908 and do some really nice things to it. That could be better than new. A spec house that you've lived in for a year and now you're just selling.
Right.
How is that better than new?
I don't know, if you put some window treatments up that stay with the house, things like that, less for people to have to spend after they buy it.
All right, I'll take some convincing though.
Okay, we'll talk about this offline. We go to the building department to check out whether or not they pulled a permit on Damon. All right, next listing is 30 Bridal Trail, and Ryan, to be perfectly honest with you, you could more or less take the soundbite when you talked about Pheasant Landing and just rewind it and then push play for Bridal Trail, because a lot of things you liked about Pheasant Landing are what I liked about Bridal Trail.
So in other words, our real estate roundup this month is going to be really, really redundant.
Yes, that's a great point. What I liked about it, you have a ton of square footage, over 6,000 square feet. The house was built in 1994. And to get it for 1.46, especially when you look at like the next listing, which one do you like better? I just thought it was a great value. And I think what both of these listings show us, Ryan, is that you have such a movement of people who want to move into town that all of a sudden these values are starting to kind of emerge that are on the outskirts of town.
Right.
And so, it's all cyclical, but if you want value and you're moving here into town and you've got 1.5 to spend, you're going to get it at a Bridal Trail or a Pheasant Landing. You're not going to get it at an in-town location necessarily.
Right. You'll pay a premium for the walk to town or the in-town location.
Yeah, today.
So
20 years from now, who knows?
Right, so there's deals to be had on the outskirts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we're definitely seeing that, for sure.
So Bridal Trail sells for 1.46. Alden Road, 74 Alden Road, sells for 1.465. This, of course, is Olin Woods. But, it's an 8,700 square foot lot.
It's a corner.
But it's new construction, and it's certainly not. Well, it's not walk to town because it's over a mile away, but it's closer than Pheasant Landing, right? And
this is a completely different type of buyer.
Yeah, true.
So it's and to your point, I mean, it's when you have 1.46, it depends on what your end game is. If you want to be in here turnkey and be done, okay. But if you want to be able to put some of equity and value into the home and and take it to another level, then the bridal trail is a better buy.
Agreed. Okay, next up is 90 Brookline Street. This includes a finished third floor, busier road, but right across from Colgate. Next listing is 7 Curtis Road. This is new construction, right? This one, we both walked through this one.
We did. It wasn't finished when we saw it.
Correct.
I just remember seeing the bump out off the family room. Had like a low pitched roof that like they created a walkout.
Yep.
And I just can envision this having to shovel that. Like snow's gonna pile up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready to talk about snow, Ryan.
Okay.
I think it's just hold your horses a little bit.
All right. It
We're
is
still
very
in
warm
October.
out today.
Well, yeah, today, but not for when people are going to be watching this show.
True.
Because temperatures are dropping, but prices are not. 70, or
Leaves
excuse
are
me.
falling. Temperatures are
I
dropping.
know. 60 Wildwood Drive is the next listing. We're approaching the big seller here. Ryan, this one, our office intimately involved with this
Yes,
transaction.
love this property.
Very unique.
I mean, it's one of a kind. Doesn't even sum it up. I mean, this is 500 feet of Charles River frontage. One of the best backyards you've ever seen in terms of acreage, and also a bluestone pool and spa. It's remarkable. Homeowner has purchased it. They're going to do some renovating to it. It's going to be one of Needham's truly spectacular properties when all is said and done. Looking
Okay.
forward to it.
Very good. And our last sale of the month is 190 Lindbergh Avenue, also a project that we were involved with.
Yes,
This
sir.
turned out to be a custom build, and they added space on the lower level, which was not included with the original listing sheet. So it actually came in at above 6,000 square feet,
Yeah.
which explains the difference between the sale price and the original list.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, for a lot of people that look at, the sales as we do, you don't see a lot of our custom or anybody's custom homes hitting MLS.
Right.
So you'd be surprised at how many of these, $2 million houses are sprinkled around Broadmeadow and Mitchell, specifically neighborhoods, that you may not have known that that's what they're worth.
Very good.
Because they don't transact at the end of the project.
Agreed. So that has it for the listings. Let me check with our producer. Do we do market snapshot or listing picture next? I don't remember which one. Market snapshots. We're going to go market snapshot, and then we're going to go to listing picture. So take a quick peek.
We shouldn't give away that we had the listing picture. It was kind of a surprise.
Well, I don't know. I kind of felt good doing that. Like to make
all
people, so people know we actually have a producer, not just two guys in your basement. Market snapshot, and this is as of
isn't Wayne's
October
World.
6, 2016. It's excellent though. 92 active single-family lists. I mean, look at 91 last year. That's great. We've gotten back to normal levels.
Right, except for the price. The listing price is considerably higher.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, you're right. So it's
But that's normal.
It is. The days on market, I don't like it. I like it lower. List price is good, and then we got a good pipeline. So plenty to talk about in the coming months.
All right, plenty to talk about with the listing picture of the month. Let's take a look at that. So when you look at the front of this house, you tell me, what kind of emotion does it evoke? Do you like it?
I feel like we're like a private investigator, and we're like hiding up in the trees, and we're trying to not be seen as we're taking this picture.
All right, so want a stakeout?
It's delightful. I don't know what to say, Rob. Maybe wait till fall to take this picture. We usually say take them in the summer.
That's what I was gonna say.
But
you gotta wait till the
here,
winter.
right? Or you know what? We don't like to do it, but lead with a different picture, an interior picture, perhaps. That one's a lot of fun for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's been a few months since we've had the listing picture because of our sales volume. So it's just nice to get back on track with that.
Yeah. Well, it actually reminds me of something else that we can talk about offline when we're going to Damon. Real quick, anybody wants to contact us? How do they do that, Ryan?
Don't call us today because I think our day's over after this. But
mine's not.
You can call us at 781-707-6564. In all seriousness, you can email us as well at rob.ryan@hawthornere.com. Always, follow us on Twitter. Some interesting stuff coming out there on a periodic basis, I'd say. And that's at Hawthorne_WMHW. Check us out. It's a lot of fun for everybody.
And with that does it for this installment of What's My House Worth. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it, and I think we're going to see you again very soon.
All right. Take care, everybody.